contested Democratic race for the 17th district, only one candidate was able to attend, so there was no need to draw numbers.
The League of Women Voters and WLBR have been working for many years in conjunction to join forces to bring this important information to the electorate.
Many have asked me why I decided to run for political office. Indeed, many have asked why I've decided to run for Congress. And I have answered, because it's necessary. It is necessary that those of us with capacity, courage, and a commitment to democracy and the ideals of a democratic society stand up and be counted. It is imperative that those of us who have worked hard to obtain the education, the skills, the tenacity, the resilience to stand, do so. I am an attorney, I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a businesswoman. I am an author, I am a member of the State Board of Education, and I am a daughter of Pennsylvania. I am running for the congressional nomination as a Democrat in PA 17 because it is my belief that we need better leadership. We need leadership that has capability, credibility, and courage to stand up for the issues that are important to all Americans: healthcare, jobs, education, employment, land preservation, and more. This evening, I hope to have an opportunity to talk with you about those issues and to fully explain my position.
Many criticisms have been leveled at the health care legislation passed by Congress last fall. What criticisms do you believe are valid, and how would you fix the legislation?
Let me start by saying that I think that there is more right than wrong with the health care legislation. Let me be clear. It is my view that since 1940 or so, we in America have really needed a new healthcare reform law. I think that insurance companies had the upper hand, and I have served on an insurance company board. I believe in balance. What I would change is I would actually make the provisions regarding the return on investment for American consumers more clear and more immediate. I would also look at a single payer system, because it is one that is very much like Medicare for senior citizens. I would point out that both Democrats and Republicans have supported single-payer systems, and indeed, when it was first proposed many years ago, it was a joint proposal of both Republicans and Democrats. However, I would end by saying that I believe that this is a good start for building a foundation in which Americans will have health care that is affordable and accessible.
In light of the current BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico that threatens the American Gulf Coast just 41 miles away, do you think America should still pursue drill baby drill mindsets regarding offshore oil drilling?
I think it is important, once again, that we maintain an appropriate balance. People need jobs. We need energy. Do I think we need to cut back on energy consumption? Yes. Do I think that we need to once again examine, however, how we engage in really meeting the needs of our citizens around energy? Yes. I am not opposed to offshore drilling per se. I am not opposed to offshore drilling per se. I apologize for that sound. However, what I believe should have occurred with respect to the BP oil situation is that BP should have been held accountable for all of the environmental concerns that were raised and waived previous to its receiving its license to engage in offshore drilling. In other words, we have laws and regulations on the books that need to be applied, and when they are not, then appropriate sanctions and actions must be taken. We need energy. Americans must learn to consume less, and we must always balance our energy consumption and the manner in which we obtain energy consumption against the environmental concerns. What has happened in the Gulf is tragic. Families will lose their livelihoods because of that. It was also avoidable. We must do better.
legislative incentives now under consideration by Congress to improve governmental oversight of our nation's banking system do you support? And please explain.
I am in support of the Federal Oversight Board that has been proposed, and it is indeed a joint Democratic and Republican proposal. I think that is an important first step in really re-equalizing or recalibrating, if you will, the manner in which we regulate banks. I do believe in regulation. Let me say that. I am not afraid of regulation. I think it should be moderate, but I think it is at times appropriate. When one looks at regulation around banks, one looks back at the Glass-Steagall amendments, the Glass-Steagall Act in 1992 and 1993, that was actually repealed. That was repealed under a Democratic presidency. So this is not an issue that lends itself to either a Democratic administration or a Republican administration. I think that the notion of setting in place a panel with oversight authority of banks is appropriate. I also believe that the idea of having banks pay into a fund that can be used in the event of their own perhaps demise or potential demise or dissolution or insolvency is important. I think that banks must learn how to pay their own way. I also believe that we need to be clear that banks are in the business of making money. That's their job. We need to be an appropriate counterbalance to that. Thank you.
If elected, how will you, as a freshman congressman, be able to exert any influence in the U.S. House of Representatives?
Well, you know, when I was about 10 or 12 years old, I was told by one or two people that I was rather shy. I've not heard that term since then. My point is, of course, that I am an advocate. I am a person who has learned through training as a lawyer, through training as an educator, and through having grown up in a family of 6 children in which I was the oldest daughter, and where you are expected to speak well, to speak clearly and coherently about the issues of the day, and to be on top of them, but also to serve as an advocate. I learned how to serve as a leader. That is what I will bring to the U.S. Congress. I am certain of my skills. If you ask me to do brain surgery, I might not be so certain. Serving as a congressperson, that I can do. I can tell you that I know how to do, and on day one, I am ready, prepared, and will stand to serve. I should also add that I have had the good pleasure of working with the current administration, with President Obama, prior to his presidency, of course, but with others. I was asked to serve in the Clinton administration. I came to Harrisburg instead because my son was very young. The point is that I understand and respect the leadership skills that I have. I am humbled by them, and I use them, and always in pursuit of public service for all. Thank you. I started by telling you why I thought it was necessary that I entered the race. You had a few moments to hear some of my viewpoints on the issues that are important. I thought that the questions were probing and appropriate, and I want to thank you for that. We need leadership that is able to think and to act. We need action. What we don't need, let me say this, is half-baked leadership. Leadership that says it will do something and then fails to follow through. That is not the way in which I was raised. It is not the way in which I have become successful. I know how to follow through. I have capability, credibility, and capacity that I have always used in a manner that benefits the greater good. I would like to continue to do that, and I would ask for your vote on May 18th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila Dow Ford.